Hi everybody, it's MaryCatherine here from Transformational Life and Self-Love. Happy Monday! I can't believe it's the 23rd of September already, but here we are. I am coming on today to talk about step 2 of transformational decisions. That's what it's called. Step 2 is transformational decision or transformational choice of the I Love You Me method. And Friday I talked about step 1. I did the live breathe and receive meditation. That's connect with yourself within, and why we talk to ourselves, why we talk, have that conversation out loud. So that was step 1. And step 2, so you can catch step 1 still. I have it kind of tagged so you'll be able to see that. Step 2 is transformational decisions. And this is a big one, you know. It can be kind of a triggering one for people too. And it's not always so black and white. So, this is the part where we love ourselves enough to choose anew, or, to really step into the power of choice. So, I'm wondering, am I live at all? I'm just going to check actually my page before I even start, because I could be talking into open space. Am I live? Can you hear me? Yes, I look like I'm on. Awesome. It's the weirdest thing, like seeing yourself actually as well. It's like weird. Anywho, transformational decisions, transformational choices. The power of choice. I mean, we always hear these things like, the power of choice. And with great responsibility comes great power, Spiderman all the way. But anything connected with our daily, reality is a direct result of our choices, be it conscious or unconscious. So that's the thing, like, we don't always make conscious choices. Oftentimes we're making completely unconscious choices all the time. And that could be in the form of programming. It could be in the form of habits that were made, It could be automatic responses. So even, and I'm not going to go into this, but like trauma can have that effect of the freeze, flight response. And it's there, it's ingrained, it's in the cell. So that's kind of, transformation decisions is so important. Ownership of our choices is so important. But also even knowing what's programmed, what's conscious and unconscious. So I'm going to kind of ask a couple of questions, and I will, after I've done this live, I will type it up so you can read this after as well, and even take out your pads, note papers, and just ask yourselves the same questions. And when you're doing that, asking of the questions, do the connect and breathe within, and just see and feel where they land, what's going on in the body when you're asking this question, what's it bringing up, and so I'm going to do that. So, okay, so what is the first part of transformational? Hi, how are you doing? Welcome. I don't know how to say your name, but you're going to have to maybe. It's a beautiful name. Mano? Okay, so the first thing we're talking about is owning your powers. This is all about transformational choice. So step 1 would be about owning your power. And sometimes we can get so comfortable, so stuck with where we are, even if it's causing us pain, we get comfortable in the pain. And that might be conscious or unconscious again, So change does take effort to do something new. And, sometimes that takes that sense of being responsible for oneself as well. And we mightn't even realise that we've kind of given that over. It's almost like, this isn't my responsibility, take that away from me. And it might be that, you're giving it to the government, or you're giving it to your leaders, you're giving it to your parents, you're giving it to your boss at work. And that's like you're handing your power over, or the responsibility for you over as well. So sometimes we get a reward, like there's a payoff for staying in our comfort zones, for staying stuck, even though we might not be happy there. We might not be in our happy point. We might even be in pain, in suffering, but we get comfortable in that. So, and there's no right and wrong as well. There's no right and wrong with this. Even having an attachment to that pain or suffering, you know. So sometimes we do this unconsciously, and sometimes the reward that we have, it could be, hi Michelle, welcome. Michelle, we're talking about step 2 of I Love You Me. I think you're a little bit familiar with it. Transformational decisions. Very quick and brief overview is what I'm doing, just to give people an idea what it's about. And I'm on, the first one was about owning your power, and the second was just about being responsible for oneself and what that might look like, and where you might be stuck in that as well, and what reward you could be getting for not being. So like I was saying, sometimes we can be attached to our pain or suffering, and we don't even know there's a payoff for it. The payoff could look like something. It could look like attention. It could look like significance, being, having something to talk about even. It could look like love for some people. It could look like so many things. But even identity, I know for me, with me it was like love and connection. If my pain body, now this is my pain body came up, it was like to give me a break from working hard, and it was also a space for me to have and receive without guilt love and connection. So I kind of had to really own up that was one of my insidious unconscious programs in the background going, oh my God, I kind of let myself I run myself to the ground, so I get so exhausted or tired that I can get love from my significant other and attention and feel, soothed. So it's that sense of, that's just one really small example, but it's that sense of sometimes that can become part of one's identity, to be in that state, be it you're in a state of depression or grief or anger or physical pain, okay? Who am I without XYZ? Who am I? Classically you could bring in even the archetypes, right? Like the martyr archetype or the victim archetype, or the savior, whatever it is, and we all embody certain different phases of these archetypes at different times in our triggers or in our life. So being able to identify within you and going within you to find out what program's running, to find out what's keeping you stuck from making and following through on that transformational decision that you want to make to change, right? You don't want to be in pain and suffering. You want to move out of it. You don't want to not love yourself. You want to love yourself. You don't want to you don't want to be in lack. You want to be abundant. So whatever's keeping you stuck, whatever's program is going on in the background, the first step is can we become a little bit more aware, and then we can take that transformational decision. We can have that choice point that's informed. It's not unconscious anymore. It's not unconscious. It's not a habit loop. It's not automatic. We know where we stand. We know where our power is. Who has our power? Who do we give it away to? And how can we now get it back? We start asking that question. And we start going, oh yeah, okay, God, I didn't know I did that. Let's bring it back. How do I do that? So another question would be, is sometimes there is resistance with even owning your power fully. There can even be resistance with fully stepping into being responsible for you, to committing to you, to following through with loving yourself fully. So you'd ask yourself, how's that working out for you? And when you're doing this, that first step 1, the breathe and connect within, do that breathe and receive meditation. And then maybe watch this video afterwards, skip through to now when I start asking you the questions, and feel and breathe. And, how is this working out for me? Take a pen and paper and write out, allow it to flow out. How is that working out for me to not be in my power, to maybe give my responsibility over to someone or something else? So it's discovering who is the owner of your life, and who had ownership over you. And, do you want to take that power back right now? So there's a sense that sometimes we're waiting for someone, And we ask that question as well. If we like completely stumped by asking ourselves these questions, are you waiting for someone, you know? Are you waiting for a savior, someone to rescue you, someone to be your hero, the next messiah, you know, for your life to change? So there's that waiting sense, pullback of, no, it's grand, I'll stay where I am, I'll stay stuck, I'll stay where I am, I'm comfortable in my uncomfortableness. But who are you waiting for if that's the case? Who are you waiting to come take you away from that pain? And when you ask yourself these questions, when you go within and you connect, and if it's about something in particular you're asking about, like, you might find out it could be somebody from your childhood. I know with me, it was once or twice I got a couple of questions or a couple of answers that really freaking surprised me. I was like, I didn't realize I was waiting for that person. Holy crap. I wanted to be seen by that person and I wanted them to hear me, and they never did the way I needed at that age. And I've been waiting the whole time, and I've been withholding from them because of that. Holy freaking moly. So when we really ask these questions, we get so much like pops of awareness. And when we have that, we can really make an informed choice, a transformational decision that's completely informed and fully in your power. It's not like you're flailing around anymore. You might even be asking the questions about who's triggering you. Who's triggering you in this point in time? You know, what's making you angry, annoyed, sad? If you're in a situation that's doing that, making you uncomfortable, who's triggering you? And you might even be feeling like, I don't have a choice. I'm stuck in this crappy marriage. I don't have a choice. I'm stuck being poor and in debt for the rest of my life. I don't have a choice. You know, I'm stuck with this partner for the rest of my life. I bought a house with them, XYZ. I don't have a choice. And it can feel like we don't have power, that we don't own our lives, that we don't own the decisions that we make, or the people we're with, or the situations that was created, okay, by numerous choices that led up to now. Anywhere that this is triggering anybody, if I'm even saying it out loud, please take a breath. And allow it to drop in. And just allow everything to open up. Soft, allow in, all the way down to your sitting space. Breathe in. And just open. Soften those sphincters, front to back passage. And just notice in the body as I'm speaking, if anywhere is getting tense, if anywhere feels constricted, if you feel like going hands up, beep off, Mary. I'm sorry, forgive me, I love you. And say that to yourself if that's true. And just take a breath and notice. So if I'm triggering you, or if you're triggered right now in anywhere in life where you are, in any situation that you're in, breathe into it. Because there's gold in triggers. There's so much gold. I love when I get triggered now. I used to freaking hate it when it happened before, but now when I get triggered, it's like, yay, something to learn and grow and delight in. So, Shri, hi darling, welcome. So, who does it feel like, you know, if you get triggered, does it feel like you have little or no choice? Apparently. And, so ask yourself that question and just see where it leads. That thread could lead somewhere, you know. Be the explorer, be curious, like the child, open, and just breathing, receiving, asking the questions. We're not going into judgment. We're not going into right and wrong. We're not doing any of that. We're just being curious. And when we're curious like that, it's a lot easier to soften and open to receive the answers that perhaps you're looking for, perhaps that want to be seen, so that they can be, you know, harmonized, and it's like released, transformed. Some of the questions that I had to ask myself when I was actually doing this, I remember when I first started with this process, I was asking myself a lot, because I had a huge pain body. I had, you know, I had a huge anxiety, nervousness. I had a little bit of a phobias. Like, you wouldn't believe what I had. And big pain body, you know, illness the whole way, chronic fatigue. And I had to ask myself, do I have to suffer? Do you have to suffer to be the martyr? You know, I was like, was I being a martyr? I had to figure out, what am I doing? Why am I, holding on to so much? Am I being a martyr? And on the flip side, was there a bit of a victim there too? So like these archetypes were handy for me. I could identify with being the martyr. I'd seen it growing up. And being the victim as well in certain situations. So in one situation I might have been the victim, the other I might have been the martyr. So it was like, whew, that's how it was showing up for me. And that is that sense of carrying the cross, like putting oneself up on the cross so that we're suffering for everybody else, so nobody else has to suffer. So it's like finding out where that is for you as well, so that you can make a choice. So it, you don't have to live that way. You don't have to be in pain. You don't have to suffer. Lorelai, oh my God, I haven't seen you in ages. Welcome. We're talking about transformational choices, and it's part of an I Love You Me process. So I've gone through a couple, like owning your power, being responsible, and just asking yourselves the question. That's what I'm going to do, is like, discover like a child, be curious like a child to see where it leads. What journey are you on in the mind space, in the body space, and keep breathing and connecting and just getting so soft that you're opening to receive whatever comes in. So a couple of more questions that I had, because I wrote some of these down. What do people do? This is the trigger sense. What do people do that cause you pain, or you perceive to cause you pain, or to make you uncomfortable, or to trigger you into anger or reaction or avoidance or hiding or conflict, whatever it is? What are people doing that you perceive they're doing to you? Right? So we've talked a little about the archetypes there, just to feel into it. See how your mind goes in it. How does your body react with that, Where do you hold it? And how is it working out for you? Good or not so good? Take a breath. When you're asking these questions, it's like without judgment, without blame. It's that sense of open, soft, curious like a child. If you want to say it out loud, say it out loud. Connect to the body if you're feeling it in the body. And get your pen and notepad. And if something wants to stream out, there could be a story there that wants to come out. Allow it out, And another part of that would be like, how much longer are you prepared to suffer with this? Or how much longer are you prepared to live in that situation? How much longer are you prepared to feel XYZ? When is the time for it to stop? Now or later? And this is one question for me where I go through all of them and be able to like get right there. And then I ask this one, how much longer? And it was like, ooh, it feel a resistance. Like, I'll do it tomorrow. And that's that sense of the avoidance of responsibility as well, or not full commitment. And of course, to make transformational decisions, we need to be fully committed fully. And it's that embodiment of the transformational choice that allows that change to happen and be consistent. Okay, so these questions are amazing just to see where a stuck point might be and then go into, right? Would you like it to change now or later? And who's the best person for that job? Who's the best person for the job? Because I know when I have a remembrance of doing this process at one thing, and I was saying it there, and it was like I was waiting for somebody to come and validate me. I was waiting for somebody to come and say sorry about something that had happened, and I was holding on to that pain, and I didn't want to let go. I was righteous in the pain. I'm right, they're wrong. It was like that, when I wasn't conscious of it until I went in and went, holy God, that's what's going on. I didn't know I was waiting for them from like 20 something years ago to come and say sorry to me. I had no idea I was doing that, but it was causing me pain, especially even physical, because once I released that physical issue went altogether. So who's the best person for the job? And that person's name came up and I went, I'm sorry I believe that, forgive me, but what's the absolute truth here? And the absolute truth was I had to take responsibility for me. I had to take responsibility for me. I was the best person for the job, and that's again owning the power, stepping into the power, not giving it away to somebody else. It's bringing it back to you. And who can meet your needs? You know, who's the best person to meet your needs? And that's your needs of pure self-love, pure love, self-love. Meet your needs of just looking after your absolute needs. And it's asking yourself, maybe, what do you need every day? What do you need to do, be, see, feel today? And breathing into that and seeing what that is, because every day you might have something different. But if our little me's, our minds, our little girls, our little boys are feeling like we're listening, we're hearing them, we hear what their need is in this moment, in this time, and maybe it's just acknowledgement. Maybe it's just having a little conversation. If we can meet that need, it's just like, it's that softness coming in, the resistance releases, you know, and we're much more open then to receive our power back, to receive whatever it is we want to receive and be fully committed again. So it's that consistency, that commitment, full body, 2 feet in the ground, you know, here I am, here I stand. This is the change I choose to make today. This is the forgiveness work I choose. And it could be that the only person that you needed to forgive wasn't somebody outside of you at all. It was like the you that was holding on to something from a very long time ago, like with that case I'm talking about. It wasn't so much I had to forgive the person, it was I was forgiving me the biggest amount because I kept holding on and causing me pain. That person had no idea what was going on. They were getting on with their life. So what does that bring us? It brings us harmony. It brings us peace. When we actually make those decisions, it's like we open up new avenues in our lives. We might see many timelines open up, pathways open up that we're like, wow, I didn't realize. I realized that I could only see from here to here. You know, my perspective was this, and now I'm like, whew. It can be that step. It can be so simple as like step A to B as well. So sometimes we, as humans, we want everything right now. As in, like, if we're in lack and there's zero in the account, we want the $1 million right now. Where's the $1 million right now? I want it right now. Take a breath. I'm just using that as a fun example. Or we want that partner right now. I'm looking for my partner. Where's my future husband? Where's my future wife? And it's like, whoa, okay. Let's clear whatever needs to be cleared. Make your choice. Change what needs to be changed. In other words, release whatever was keeping you stuck. And you'll find the A to B step comes. You might not get A to Z in one go. A to B, and then B, suddenly you're there, and C opens up, and D opens up, and suddenly it's a different journey you had no idea was unfolding. So this step 2 of I Love You Me process, step 1 being connect within. Breathe, receive yourself, connect into the body, come back into the body, away from the head, back to the heart, back to the body. Breathe, allow the breath to wash over you and to sense or feel or open up spaces that are maybe stuck. And then it's that sense of you can have a conversation with yourself. Find out where it is you're stuck or feel stuck, if that's the truth for you, and go in there. Talk to it. Give it forgiveness, give it love, give it harmony. Watch it transform. The energy will totally transform. We can't destroy energy. We can't cut cords. Energy can't be destroyed. If it's out of harmony, what it needs to be done is see it, feel it, talk to it in love. Release. If something's stuck, we'll release what's stuck, right? Whatever it is, anger, grief, pain. So then when it's seen, you can ask what it needs, and then you give it what it needs, okay? And then it harmonizes. It's back into the harmony. It's no longer causing pain. So that is step 2, right? Step 1 and step 2. The next step that I will do during the week is about stepping into full embodiment of love and what that looks like. Completely loving oneself. And anywhere that we find it even hard to say, I love you, me, because I know when I started on this, it was like, I love you, me, and it was like stuck here. It was out here. The I love you, me was out here. It wasn't coming back. I wasn't receiving it. I wasn't allowing myself to receive it because it didn't feel true. And part of my mind was like, that's not true. Ego was like, little girl was like, no. So it was like, I'm in the process of loving me. I could breathe that in, and then after a while, that sense of, yeah, actually, the truth is I actually really do love you. The odd time I might find it hard to say it, but that's the truth. And it's like that practice, that commitment to that. Just keep connecting. I mean, I'm still on this journey. That whole journey, the full self-embodiment journey. But I will say, this process of I Love You Me has brought me massive leaps, massive bounds in a very short space of time. I no longer have a pain body. I no longer lie awake at night with anxiety. I no longer not leave my apartment. I did not leave my apartment, and if I did, it was in the dark. Like I don't think people know that about me, but that was what I was going through. And I no longer live that way. If you want to be the full embodied you, I recommend, get the book, I Love You Me by Tara Love Perry. Book in a session with me. I'm going to do some tasters. Watch my Breathe and Receive. Follow me now. I'm going to be doing a couple of more videos and the rest of the steps so you get a really good idea of what's involved, what's in store for you on this 7-step journey to transformational self-love. So let me know how it's going. Tamara, you're watching. My gorgeous Tamara. Penelope, how you, darling? Oh, it's lovely to see you here as well. All the lovely faces. I've just come to the end. But I will be on the next couple of days, and I'm going to be sharing a bit more information about my workshops coming up. So I have 2 in Ireland coming up in October, one in Gorey and one in Cork, the 19th in Gorey and the 26th in Cork, and it's going to be called the Heart Focus Workshop. All about the heart, guys, and self-love, healing the heart center, and we'll be doing attunements and activations for chakra systems, and most specifically the heart space, the higher heart and the heart itself, through light language, toning, and this process here, and a lot more mantras, meditations, journeys. So it's going to be a wonderful workshop. I'm hosting the first one in Gorey with Emer Quintero, and the second one in Cork is with myself. So please join me, send me a message, let me know. I'm going to be posting the flyers soon, the posters soon, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who'll be there. Sending you all lots of love. Mwah! Bye, guys.